Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining me for my weekly Wednesday Wisdom video. I'm coming on later than usual today because I'm traveling and I'm on the road. And for those of you who may not know me, I'm Teresa McGallagher, founder together with my partner and friend Carly Hardy of This Miracles Attraction community on Facebook. And we have formed this group so that we can connect with like-minded, spiritually inclined people to support one another on our journey and on our path. And we are interested in attracting miracles. That's what we are here for. So Carly and I are both students and teachers of A Course in Miracles. That is our spiritual path. And we have experienced so many miracles as a result of doing the workbook lessons together. So I encourage all of you, if you're not familiar with A Course in Miracles, to check it out, especially the workbook lessons, because that's where the rubber meets the road, not just reading the text and understanding the information intellectually, but actually putting it into practice on a daily basis. That is what will transform your life and what will allow miracles to start showing up for you. So this week, I thought I would address energetic limits and normalized suffering. What is normalized suffering? Well, I've said repeatedly that you are not here to suffer. You are not here to sacrifice. You are not here to give up the things that you love in life. You were created by a powerful creator with the same creative powers which you have in the mind with your thoughts. Your thoughts are extremely powerful. One of my favorite people of all time, Peace Pilgrim, said, if you knew the true power of your thoughts, you would never again have a negative one. So A Course in Miracles is a system of mind training to train our thoughts to think with right-minded thoughts connected to the divine, instead of allowing ourselves to get caught up in ego drama and conflict and these notions of sacrifice and suffering being noble. There is no nobility in that. We are here to express joy, to express love, to exude joy and love, to share this high energy frequencies of love and joy with all of those around us. But it's very difficult, in fact, impossible, to feel loving and joyful when we are caught up in the ego mind system and thoughts of lack, of limitation, of guilt, of resentment, of anger, of all that negative stuff. We don't need that. We do not need that to survive on this planet. In fact, that is what holds us back. That negative ego thought system is what holds us back and blocks us from experiencing love, peace, and joy, abundance and prosperity, healthy and kind and mutually beneficial relationships. And that's what needs to be dismantled. So one of the things that I've been looking at this week is where I still engage in this sort of normalized suffering because it has become normal for me and I don't recognize it as suffering. So you can look at your own life and see what kinds of things do you still engage in that don't lift you up, that don't make you happy, that don't support a joyful experience for you. Do you take phone calls from people that you know are going to drag you down, that they're going to get on the line with you and they're going to start whining and complaining about their lives and it's going to turn into a big pity party, and then you get off the phone with them and you're like, ugh, why did I take that call? Why do you do that? We have this idea that we need to be good people and we need to be there for other people. And yes, that's a lovely sentiment. However, if being there for other people involves dragging us down to their level, no one gets helped. So it's important to look at how things feel for us energetically. Do I feel uplifted by engaging in that conversation, or do I feel sucked down into the suck hole? Not only the other people that I interact with, but different kinds of activities. So many of us go through life unintentionally doing these same activities day after day out of habit. And those are not always activities that support our upliftment energetically. Many times they're activities that drag us down. So it's important to tune into, how does this make me feel? And why do I do it? Am I doing it out of habit? Or am I doing it because it truly lights me up? And when I'm lit up, then I can help others to light up. And where is the limit for that energetic standard that I have for myself? Because the journey I'm on this year is raising that standard. Where I used to put up with this crap, I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. If I'm in a group where people are arguing all the time, like, why? What's the payoff? Why am I participating in that? I don't need to put my time and energy into that. I could be doing something more productive. So where is my standard? Am I tolerating bullshit? Am I putting up with nonsense just out of force of habit? Or because I think it makes me a good person in some way to be there? That's delusional. That's lying to myself. My journey is to raise that standard and say, if it pulls me down into the suck hole, I'm not doing that anymore. And I get caught in that sometimes out of habit, and then I catch myself and I'm like, no, I don't really need to respond to that. I can move on and do something else. What are my standards for myself? So not only in terms of relationships with other people are there standards, and we can often see this in romantic relationships, right? Like, what kind of nonsense am I willing to put up with from a boyfriend just so I don't have to be all alone in the world, just so I don't have to feel lonely? That was a big story for me for decades. Like, I would just put up with any kind of thing just to have a boyfriend. I'm not doing that anymore. I deserve more. You deserve more. We all deserve the best. And we need to hold that standard for ourselves. And one of the things I love so much about A Course in Miracles and the messages in it is that it tells us over and over and over again that we are holy, that we are innocent. We deserve the best. We don't deserve that conflict, that drama, that nonsense. So that goes for friendships, that goes for romantic relationships, and that also goes for the way we live our lives. Are you tolerating clutter? Are you tolerating chaos? Are you tolerating things that get started and don't get finished? What are you putting up with in that realm? You deserve a clean, beautiful, sanitary, attractive environment. And then I talked last week a lot about abundance and how we have standards for ourselves when it comes to abundance and what we think we deserve. So this deservingness thing is huge. It is huge. It is huge. There are so many of us that were raised in religions where we were told that we were worthless, that we were lower than low, that we were sinners, that we were fallen, that we were bad. And it gets ingrained in you that there's something wrong with you, that you can never be enough, you can never do enough, and it's all lies from the devil's mouth. That's bullshit. You've got to let that go to rise above and access these higher energies in the miracle realm. You can't get there from here. You simply cannot. No amount of feeling like crap is ever going to make you happy. No amount of putting up with shit is ever going to get you into a healthy, happy romance. No amount of doing without and sacrificing and scrimping and saving is ever going to make you wealthy. You can't get here from here. You have to let this nonsense go. You have to look at how this makes you feel. If it doesn't bring you joy, if you don't have peace of mind in this kind of energy, it's not for you. It is not for you, my friends. So I went on a field trip today and I did something I've never done before. I'm in a hotel right now in the Washington, D.C. area because my husband was down here for work and I tagged along. And right across the street is a Tiffany's jewelry store. I have never been inside Tiffany's before. I have only seen it in the movies. And I was intimidated to go inside that store, but I decided that I was going to go across the street. and I was going to walk inside and I was going to have a look around. And I was nervous. And my husband said, why would you be nervous about that? The people working in that store are just working people. They're not wealthy. They're not upper crust, society. They're just people that need jobs. And, they're not going to judge you like, why are you hung up about that? But I can see how my childhood and my programming and my conditioning from the way that I was raised with poverty consciousness made me feel intimidated to go into that shop. Fortunately, my daughter had the day off today, so we were able to go in together. We went in, we walked around and looked at every jewelry counter. It was beautiful in there. The jewelry was gorgeous, and there were no price tags on anything. And I wanted to ask how much some things cost, but you know what they say, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. So this was my first step in my journey to raising my standards for myself, raising out of this poverty consciousness and into a consciousness of abundance, because I know that thoughts create reality. That everything that is here in the world of form started off as a thought. It started off with someone imagining something and then inventing it or creating or making it or coming up with it. So that's where the change has to happen. It has to happen at the level of thought. And I know for me, if I want to get into a state where I feel very comfortable with wealth and affluence, which is my goal, to live a life of luxury on every level, that I have to start with being comfortable in that environment. So that was my anomalous action for today. You have to get out of your comfort zone every once in a while and try something new, try something different, because if you keep on doing what you've always done, you keep on getting what you've always gotten. That's the way this works. So, number one, always peace of mind. The untrained mind can accomplish nothing. If there's no peace of mind, if there's no connection with spirit, if there's no mental and spiritual guidance coming in, you can't go anywhere. So that's step one. But when you get to a place where you have continual peace, you have continual joy, you have good relationships with the people in your life, then you can keep elevating, elevating, elevating. There is no, what's the word? There is no benefit, there is nothing noble about staying down. There is nothing noble about staying down here. There is nothing noble in that. But purpose is important. If you're coming from a place of lack and neediness, you also cannot do this. So purpose needs to be aligned with the divine. We need to know that we are coming from a place of abundance, of knowing that we are divinely supported, of knowing there is plenty more where that came from, of knowing that our source is infinite. There are infinite possibilities for us in the world, and then tap into that. So look at how you feel, and with the things that you do in your daily routine, look at how you feel when you walk into Walmart versus walking into Tiffany's. Look at how you feel when you interact with certain people versus other people. Look at how you feel when you're engaged in fun things that you enjoy and things that feel like drudgery and like a burden. And then ask yourself, why do I do those things I hate? Why do I stay connected to those people that suck me down? Are we masochists here? What is going on? What is really going on? And my point is, we've been trained to do that. That's why it's called, that is why this suffering is conditioned, and that is why we don't notice it. It feels natural. We've been doing it for so long that we don't even realize that we're out of whack, we're out of alignment. So look at how those things feel, and then ask yourself, do I want to feel this way? Do I need to feel this way? Do I have to interact with this person who always gives me a hard time? Do I have to go shopping in this store where it feels icky? Do I have to give up certain things that I used to love to do when I was a kid just because I'm old now? Like, where do these stories come from? Who told you that? Who told you you had to do that? I'm here to tell you that you don't need to do that. You are entitled to miracles, and God's will for you is perfect happiness. So that's my message for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. I'm Teresa McGallagher, and I love you.